Absolutely.
And we all saw it.
That's why we don't.
That's why I don't get my source from fucking mainstream media, man. I like to watch it and make the whole fucking opinion.
Absolutely. That's why when we do the editing that we do to the podcast, it's something to cut out time. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I don't cut out anything. Even like the last episode we were talking, I was serious, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I played back like 10 times. We were physically going back and forth about whether we should cut this out or not. Right. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just leaving it in. Like, it's no. Well, I don't remember what it was either. But it was. I was like, oh, could have been taken. I don't know. It was probably about the abortion thing we were talking about. That one of those conversations.
July 6th.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even know about it. Like, I don't know about shit, dude.
About the shooting?
Yes, had no idea until yesterday.
Yeah, I knew about that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's me talking. I had no idea about either one of them. Like, no idea. That's how much news I'm not watching right now.
Right.
Like, it was bad. I even got home and I was like talking about to my wife, and I'm like, "Well, there's a shooting." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, and then there was somebody else that got shot at a traffic stop. Yeah. What the hell's going on?
I don't know which traffic stop.
You know.
Yeah, I didn't hear about the traffic stop.
Supposedly there was a kid, a black kid somewhere. I say kid, a younger person. They got pulled over for a routine traffic stop and ended in a shooting. He got shot 60 times or something.
Oh, was that the one that shot at the police and then took off in a pursuit? I'm pretty sure that's the one it was. Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the details behind it, but I think that's the one that shot at the police through the vehicle. I love how they always put graphic footage and they blur everything the fuck out. Like, I understand some people are sensitive as shit and just the thought of somebody getting killed or whatever, but like,
all these people triggered.
Their definition of graphic and my definition of graphic are way different.
Yeah, I agree. You playing the video?
Or should we be recording this?
We recording.
You can do your intro. You know how I am about your intro.
I know, that's why I'm not doing it.
Well, we can't edit, like, hey. Hold on before you start that, Brennan. Can you hear me, Jerry?
I can hear you.
Yeah, that other conversation we had before this, I can't have that on our podcast.
Oh, no, I got you. Let me just ask you that. Why is that a thing?
Why is what a thing?
Like, just when people flee, shooting. Like cops shoot.
We don't shoot people just for fleeing.
I'm not saying y'all or you, but I'm saying of recent activities like this. Right? Like, they had the kid.
Police say that Walker fired a gunshot from his car as he was being pursued.
Then he took off. He had a ski mask on. Took off running. Supposedly, I mean, you can't see it in the video. I'm sure if you slow it down and stuff, but the article says he took off running and then turned like taking a shooting stance at him, so they lit him up. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, I don't.
That makes sense.
You shoot the police and you turn and towards them with a shooting stance. I mean, yeah.
It's like that suicide by cop thing.
Right.
You know.
That's apparently there was a gun found in the car. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if that's what happened, then yeah. But I mean, that's why I don't like making comments on these things because you know, they give you so much limited information depending on how they want the story to go. Until all the information comes out, it's hard to make a determination on the surface.
So the body camera. I mean, there's 8 cops there. Why you got the last guy arriving on the scene's body camera?
That's what they always do.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was literally the last person there.
Yeah, the one the furthest away with it. Right.
Yeah. The one that had to run the furthest, that was shaking the most. That,
right.
You know,
not the first guy who probably had a clear view of, you know.
That's what.
And look, I'm gonna tell you this part of the problem with these body cameras too, man, is they don't pick up with your eyes pick up.
They're in your chest.
Right. So you may have something off to the right that's very, very relevant, like a guy with a gun.
I can see it now. Like, in 5 years, cops are going to be wearing uniforms like VR systems. You know, like the old, like the Fear Factor things when you got a helmet and you got cameras hanging off of here with both. Like, you need a 360-degree view to see what you're doing. Like, well, that's the only way you can actually make
they make those cameras like glasses
Yeah.
you put on that have, but I mean those come off in a fight. And you know, it just
There's no way of getting these.
none of body cameras help. Don't get me wrong. You know,
They help y'all as well.
but you also your eyes focus on certain things, right? Like the camera picks everything up at the same speed. The whole, you know, you process information differently depending on what kind of threat or what kind of things in front of you, and those things matter. You know, sometimes like I've seen many videos where it's inside of a house and the camera's still trying to focus from the light where somebody's eyes have already made that adjustment and are seeing things a little bit differently.
Well, yeah, Brennan.
This is the July 4th parade.
So what's up with I don't know.
Apparently, and I'm not as I haven't dived into this one yet, but the initial stuff that I got from it was guy from the community took up a shooting position on top of a building during the 4th of July parade and started opening fire in the crowd.
Legally purchased the firearm.
They didn't say anything about that.
That's how I read what I read. So he legally purchased the firearm.
That's what I heard.
He had
Yeah, I didn't read too much on it. Like the first initial day when they were doing, they got the suspect in custody.
What kind of gun it was?
Let me see.
It sounded like a rifle. From the videos I watched a couple like people's cell phone videos.
Like long rifle, just a.
What it sounded like, yeah, like a AR-15 rifle or something like that.
Did you see the prior? The Japanese official that got assassinated yesterday.
No, I heard somebody had mentioned that. I didn't see. Like I
was
said,
waiting to
I've been
see
so
some
busy with
news
work.
that
It's
that
been
was-
hard for me to.
I caught it just last night, watching the news, and it was the previous prime minister. That's from. I'm assuming he's rerunning. They said it was on the campaign talk. And Japan is a gun-free country,
Right.
right? He was shot.
Imagine that.
What a homemade gun. Dude, this thing was like the sound in the video, because of course they showed, had a video of him close, and when he was shot, just the impact, and then there was like 2 shots fired. And I'm not laughing, of course, the situation, but I just thought it was kind of like, of course, this is not going to get any attention. That like we get all the attention in this country about gun control.
Oh, right, right.
Against the guns, and like I'm for gun control, like I am.
I am not.
We have a difference of opinion on that.
Not even close.
I say that. I mean, not that I use a gun more than you, but I actually use a gun for recreational use. You use a gun for your profession.
Right.
So it's like it's not like either we are both like-minded in the totality and the actual function of a gun. So, but my whole thing is that, especially with gun control, like I do not think that people need ridiculous amounts of clips that have 50 rounds or 100 rounds or 300 rounds and these the barrel clips and all this shit. And I do think you can have exceptions to things like we talk about for competition shooting and stuff like that, because those you don't have sports people going out and buying those or doing bad things with them, right? Those people are doing those specifically for what they
Right.
intend to use them for. But it's just shows you, like, even in Japan, where I don't know how long it's been, how long guns have been illegal in
I
Japan.
don't even know.
But I mean,
Brennan, before you move on and Google that, if you just Google that type of rifle, you can pull a picture up of it.
what is it?
It's MMP 15. That's what it is. It's just Smith & Wesson's version of an AR-15 is all it is.
So it's probably even a 223.
What, that? Yeah, it's chambered 5.56. Yeah. 223.
So I mean, and that's what irritates me about. Look, I own almost not that exact gun, but one fairly similar to it that I deer hunt with. It has, a 5-round magazine for it.
Right.
And that's what. But when you see this on the news,
But
it's an assault rifle.
Pull up a
It's,
Mini 14.
And things like that. It's like, I don't know where this is ever going to go in our country.
14?
Mini 14, yeah.
Sweet screen, if you don't mind. You're good.
Now click on the one with the wooden stock right there to the right next to the sniper setup on it. No, not that one. Down. Over that. Yeah, even that one.
Yep. Same gun.
It's just the same round, same rate of fire. But if I put those two guns next to each other, they're gonna say that one's okay.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
one,
so
the one
the
that
only
looks
difference,
tactical.
and you knew this, the only difference between that one and the other one is that is not capable of holding a larger magazine.
No, you can fit.
I mean, you can you can adjust it to where it does that. But the other, the more tactical style, those are built to handle larger magazines, right? Because those are used. You're not using that rifle in competitive shooting.
They do.
No, I mean,
But they changed the stock out.
correct.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the same page as you. Like, I don't think that
Like all it is the look of the rifle.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's the same thing with the BB gun thing, right? Or the water pistol that kids get, people get shot with because it's like, well, he had a gun. It was only a water gun. Well, if that some bitch looks real,
Right.
and it looks like it's gonna, then that's what it's taken as. It's stupid, as far as on this side, because it's like,
But that's what happens when you have non-gun people try to make laws, or they don't understand guns, try to make laws as a blanket thing on guns. Like, I guarantee if I put that rifle and an AR-15 on the table next to each other, a lot of these people are going to say, I want to ban this one, but not that one. It shoots the same round,
okay.
same capabilities, right?
I've said
For
years,
a very, very cheap pull up, I'm sure they have. Go back. I'm sure they have some with an extended magazine in them, 30-round mags in there.
oh, definitely, you can get. I mean, just a 22, like a little,
Well, you can go under that actual image, Brennan. I see one to the right, or to the left is even two.
This one?
Yeah, same gun, 30-round magazine right there. It actually looks like an AR-15 magazine. Same gun, different stock. They would say that was illegal because it's black. I'm serious because it's that tactical black and
it looks,
oh, that right there. Right, all the same gun.
no, look, I
Don't make your guns more ergonomically designed or able to put attachments on it to help your grip and make you more comfortable or.
It's the same thing with sights, and it's the same thing with everything.
Right.
It's like a sight's not going to make anybody shoot any better as far as if you don't know what you're doing and you're not,
right,
like,
yeah,
it's not gonna,
that's-
whether you got the
whether you got like a red
sight.
dot or an iron sight,
Exactly.
it's not going to make a crappy shooter a competition shooter,
Correct.
right? But it will make you a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
But it'll make a good shooter a lot better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you still look at these situations like with these guys, all of them, all active shooter situations, for the most part, it's not somebody perched up sniping people.
Well, this one was.
And
with a sniper. I don't know if he had optics on his rifle, but this guy was in an elevated. It was top of a building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shooting down the crowd. Yep.
But most of these, I guess the Las Vegas one was the same way. It was kind of a elevated guy, you know. But for the most part, most I guess, and I don't know this, you know, but I feel like most of them are ground level, crowds and just you know, shooting. So if I have a .22 caliber, you know, handy rifle that holds, you can buy them you can buy them anywheres, you know, with 50 round clips because they're small game target shooting. Mm-hmm. It's not going to look as devastating. Oh,
you can do some damage with 22. That bullet bounces all over inside that body. Yep.
You know, it's and that's the thing that, I mean, I know I preach to the choir when we talk about this, but you know, this is the first thing I tell you in any gun safety class or any hunter's education class or anything like that is just what these different calibers are capable of doing. You know, when you see a big caliber bullet, you know, blow somebody's arm off, and it's like, yeah, but they can. You have an amputee, but you're alive. You get shot a couple times in the gut with a .22.
Yeah, but
you're gonna die.
It takes a pretty big caliber to blow somebody's.
You know, I mean, like a chunk. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a big exit hole. Yeah. You know, you're not gonna see a big exit hole with a small caliber.
Well, no, it just bounces all on the inside like a ninja blender. Right. Essentially, what it's doing. It's true.
Imagine the game. You know the game like a bowling alley, where you slice the fruit.
Oh yeah, like Fruit Ninja. Ninja. Basically.
Yeah, but that's never discussed neither. Whenever the first thing it's
because it doesn't fit the narrative. You know, it just does. And they trying to say these AR-15 rifles with chambered in 5.56 223 are blowing people's bodies apart. That's not accurate, man. Like it ain't.
How do you change that? How do you change it away from narrative to education?
I mean, people, first off, look, I've said this a gazillion times. When you live in the age of technology and Google and smartphones, being uninformed is a choice. It really is. But saying that, there's also so much false information that people I get that.
Believe is fact.
You got to go past the first click, you know?
As easy as information is to obtain because of technology, it's also made it harder to obtain true facts.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to take a deep dive into that kind of stuff,
I'm with you 100%.
Because it goes both ways. You know, you see stuff left, right, whatever. It just depending on what the narrative is that they're trying to push. You know, that's the image they draw, and I get it.
What do we do as a society to stop pushing narratives and just start pushing education?
Man,
you know, like when you I was a couple weeks ago. I was watching what's his name? Old news journalist, Walter Cronkite, and it was like it was. People need to go back and listen to, 60s and 70s, and probably as later 60s and early 70s is probably when journalism started tweaking a little bit of being opinionated. Because of the war and because of Vietnam, it wasn't just about giving facts, but for the most part, journalism and news was just non-opinionated.
There's no integrity in them.
It's all just money.
Right.
It's about getting views and getting clicks, and I get it. I understand the business of news, but the only way it changes is by society forcing it to change.
Yeah, I don't watch them.
Well, then it goes to the next person. Even the weather.
Oh, yeah.
The Weather Channel.
You can't put the Weather Channel out here.
It pisses me off.
Like the COVID count. Remember we talked about that. You're watching the Weather Channel and you got COVID stuff on there. Yeah. You got, whatever, just...
Well, even when they talk about storms. Every storm is going to be the worst storm. Right. It's the worst one we had.
Oh, yeah. That's the epitome of the boy who cried wolf.
Yes. And it's I get it. I understand you, especially for Ida. Because look, I was one of them. I was like, there's no way the thing's going to go from a 1 to a 4 in a day. It's in the Gulf. It's coming. All of our experience said that. Right. And then the news kept saying, I was like, my brother-in-law were talking about it. He's like, man, you know how the news is. You know how the Weather Channel is. Because we've had some, that were going to be 3s and 4s that were coming in the Gulf, and they were dead before they even got to the coast.
Yeah. And everybody get out now. This is Armageddon. Right.
And I was like, what if they're right? And crazy thing was this time they were right. Like it did exactly what they said it was going to do. But that's probably 30% of the time that's what happens.
That's one of the few professions you could.
Oh,
you could be wrong that much and still.
Well, so like in baseball, right? Like if you're a 300 batter.
Oh, you're like a Hall of Fame batter.
Yeah,
yeah. That's all. That's
fucking 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10
that's
times
not that
you get
great.
on base, right? Or hit
hitting ball.
Right.
And they said the only thing that you could be great in and suck at besides baseball is weather.
That's,
because it's like, I mean, you think of if a quarterback completes 30% of their passes.
he ain't a quarterback much longer.
No. Right. I can get out of junior high school.
Right.
If a business guy,
run the ball a lot.
If Warren Buffett was only good on 30% of his investment picks.
Right. If you went to a restaurant and 30% of the time your food was good, but the other 70% is sucked.
Yeah.
You ain't going to that restaurant anymore,
I don't know. Popeyes is like that.
That's the service, though. There's difference in the service and the food.
Yeah, you're right. Food's always good. They always forget something.
Right.
Always. But yes, I don't know.
I think that until as a society we increase our standards and demand more, and
we demand a lot right now.
But what I'm saying is you demand that integrity in your right. You gotta say that if you're not gonna have integrity and you're not gonna stop spinning the message, then we're not gonna listen to it, and we're not gonna hear it, and we'll change the channel. But that's the only way that you invoke, because if the motivator's money and you take that motivator away, then you're gonna motivate them to give the consumer what they want.
It starts with advertising, though. Stop buying the products that support.
I know, and it's a lot though, because
it's everything.
Yeah.
Look, that's and people laugh at me, and it's not that I'm gonna ever change Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart. I shop at Sam's periodically, just because of convenience and like for office purposes and stuff. Like you don't go buy an 8-pack of toilet paper.
Right.
You got 40 people that run through here any given day or week. It's like go through a lot of toilet paper.
Right. Yeah, you got to buy in bulk.
So, but if I'm aware, and I know it's not like it's that much better, but I'm going to order it either directly from a distributor or I'm going to order it through Amazon. I truly get 300 rolls of.
I get it, bro. I'm the same. Like I'm trying to get more. It's rough because it's damn near everything.
It is.
I'm trying to not spend my money with people who don't like me. So I get it. I do. Wherever you line up. You should spend money where but see, the people that are there value your business and
the thing with
appreciate you.
Political side, I'm not going to spend my money if we have a difference in opinion.
Opinion's one thing, values is different.
Well, that's yeah,
and that's basically where that's kind of my line draw is. We can have a difference of opinion, but if it's a difference in values, and then you actively don't like me and attack me because of the values that I hold, I don't want to give you my money.
That's the difference. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Especially what you do, because there's so many. I don't want to say that's going to be sound. I don't want to say that. But I was going to say there are some. I was going to say anti-cop companies, and I don't think they're anti-cop.
Oh no, there are some.
Well, I would like to think there aren't, but they're trying to push another agenda. And again, I think that message gets skewed. Like it was the same thing with the people that were against, defund the police. It's the first thing that popped into their brain. And then even a lot of people that were like, defund the police because we need to, re-spend that money or remove it around. It's like, well, you don't defund them. You need to increase funding and allow them to do more training, have better equipment, have, like we've talked about on other podcasts, have mental, issue mental health training for more officers, not
Right.
one or two in a department.
Yep.
You know, you can't do that with less money.
No.
You know, and so I think that's the thing. But defund the police because they're not spending money right. Like, I mean, it's the first thought of it. It's like, okay, yeah. So people kind of got behind that, and it's like, well, no, like you give it 30 seconds of thought and just don't go off of emotion. It's like, well, that's the stupidest shit in the world to do.
Well, but that's
You know?
that's the problem with some of these people is a lot of their arguments are emotional based. You know, and I get it because that's what stirs the fires, right? But you have to be able to take a step back, take a breath, and really think about it, especially if you're in a position of, political or financial power. Like you need to understand that your statements and your opinions like that have consequences.
It holds a lot of weight.
And it holds a lot of weight, absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, there's that whole defund the police movement crap was just stupid. Just, like you said, I understand there is a need for more training, and there is a need for
And I think that a lot of people, especially in these cities, and look, we live not far from one that's in that same area right now. Where when you look at the budget, and then you look at what's being done and the crime rate that consistently increases, it's like, hey, now we need to know where this money's going.
well,
And as much as it's, public money is transparent, it's really not.
well, I think that goes a little bit deeper than just on the surface a law enforcement issue. I mean, you have a district attorney's office.
Oh,
there that
it's
doesn't prosecute.
it's
You have a
definitely
mayor's
across
office
the whole way.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just a policing issue. I mean, police
Right.
can only do what they're allowed to do. Like
Right.
as far as
Well,
a police, I'm talking about the whole justice system.
Oh,
if you
yes.
will.
Yeah,
And
right,
it's like that. Every town that has these issues. That's exactly. They're
Right.
just copycats of each other. And look, we were in Colorado and talking with. I went on a fishing trip. And my guide was, and then we were fishing, not just bullshit. And then I was like, "So you do this full time?" He said, "No, I'm actually a cop." He said, "Me and another cop buddy, because of how we work shift work, we do this on our days off." And I was like, "Man, that's awesome." So start talking about the podcast, start talking,
Right.
One guy's on the cop, he's a long time cop, and going on and on. And I'm like, "Y'all can't have too many. Like this is God's country, right? Like this place is amazing." You can't have too much crime and too many issues. And we start talking about, and we were a couple hours outside of Denver. And he's like, well, and starts talking about the political change in Denver.
Right.
It's starting to mirror Seattle. And then it starts, when it's only 2 hours away.
That's what's trickling down.
5 years ago, wasn't, man. It was great. He's like, the worst thing I get called was like a Karen situation. Like somebody called and said, Joey's cutting his grass at 5:30 in the morning. He's like, that was the extent of my calls 5 years
Right.
ago. And he's like, now, it's the drug problem is
Yep.
like, because they're starting to decriminalize, not because marijuana's been. I mean, it's like
Right.
Washington, it's been legal, but they're starting to decriminalize like all drugs, and he's like, yeah, and they're starting to get fentanyl overdoses in a town that has 1,500 people.
Right.
Like, listen, I mean that's insane. Like, I understand, like if it happens once or twice a year, he's like, no, this is happening like once or twice every couple of months. There's a little bloop, and he's like,
Right.
you don't have this in small town. I'm like, oh, I know, I'm from a small town. Like,
We're not
when
as small
I grew
anymore,
up-
but
no, but what I'm saying, when we
Right.
grew up as a kid here, I mean, Homa had, probably city limits 10,000 people. If
yeah,
that.
I don't know.
8,000 people. To everyone, Paris as a whole had probably 50,000 people.
Yeah, I don't know. I know we grew a lot after Katrina.
It's like, now I say that, the art metropolitan Homa Thibodeau, you probably got 120, 130,000
I
people.
don't know. Probably more than that. but-
That are here. It's a lot of people. It's not a big city.
No.
But our
of course
cities
not.
are kind of spread out in chunks. Our populations are,
I mean, we're
50,000.
I think we're technically considered a suburb of.
Yeah, we are. but it's still like when you look at demographically, it's the Houma Thibodeau metropolitan area. Like it's still they lump us because of miles. I mean, we're only 15 miles from Thibodeau.
You're right.
So it's they kind of bulk that into a joint metro area. But yeah, I mean, still it's not a big city to where you have high murder and high this constantly.
No, and like people ask, when all those riots and everything were going on, and how y'all faring where you're at? Our community has a really good relationship with law enforcement, and the people that didn't like us before don't like us. That didn't change, and the people that liked us still like us. Like it's not a lot of those things as far as community relations and community involvement, and we do those things already. So we really didn't. Our community wasn't affected by that.
No, and there was, I want to say, I know at least of 2 demonstrations, protests, marches that happened. No issues.
Right. Yeah. Not at all.
People, had the right to protest. The people didn't act ass. They
just
marched. They had their signs. They picketed. They did their thing.
Yep.
And everybody was safe and sound. And
I'm sure. Size of crowd makes a difference,
percentage of having an asshole goes up.
Right. Yeah, and like I really, there's a reason why the majority of the riots and stuff that you had during the daytime, it was majority just protesting. It wasn't until the agitators and stuff came out during the night that those protests turn riotous.
Not that we're gonna change subjects, but
I mean, we really
when you said that's me. So where the hell is Antifa now? Like they were everywhere when all this shit was going on, and they were making a political stance, and they're
not politically popular anymore.
Why not?
Because that narrative had made their the liberals who supported them, their numbers started tanking for supporting that kind of shit. Because people are like, you're claiming to be for my community, but these people are burning my community, and you're saying it's okay. You're letting them back out of jail. You're not. I don't feel safe in my home. I don't feel safe on the streets. Those are basic human rights that, regardless of your political spectrum, like you can appreciate and you want those things. And when you're saying take the police away and let these people roam the streets and commit violence and destruction, I don't care where you line up politically, you're going to have some issues when it comes to voting time.
They started destroying a hospital.
Right, yeah. But they burn down local businesses where these people have worked their entire life to get, and so you're going to make your statement about burning down
even,
the
like,
mom and pop store in the corner,
And I go burn. I'm not going to say
that. Yeah, we already got one strike.
Yeah, look, if you're against the establishment, right, and you're trying to burn down the establishment,
you don't go burn down your local mom and pop store in the corner, right?
The minority woman owned business, or
right,
like or the like you said, the mom and pop shop, like Target. There's Walmart's. There's plenty of the establishments that but guess what? Those are probably guarded.
But even those. Yeah, you might burn down your local Target, but you just took jobs away. From
At least that makes more sense than a mom and pop shop.
Right.
I can understand it more,
Right, but even then, like they don't stop to think like you just took a lot of money out of your community.
Right,
you just took a lot of jobs out of your community.
About my anti-Walmart stance, and they say, how how many people Walmart employs?
Oh, it's a lot.
Oh, it's the largest employer in the world.
Well, but that number's dropping because. Well, I mean, if you count me as an employee, because I do check out my own groceries.
Yeah. But they're still the largest employer in the world.
I hate that.
That's one of my bitches, right?
I hate it, bro. Because I don't get a discount.
No.
Or a check. Or stock options or nothing.
No. You get convenience. Well,
but
now I still got to send 10 people deep in line.
Right,
Like
and then half the time I'm sitting there waiting for a cashier to come clear some kind of stupid error code.
I love the self checkout.
I don't. If I have like 2 or 3 items,
I'm not saying have 50 of them.
Right.
You should have 2, 4, 6, whatever, however big your store is. Be convenient. You know, like CVS now even has self checkout. It's perfect. I want to check out my Tylenol and roll out. Right. I don't want, be behind Lucy that's buying every discounted item in CVS, and she has a buggy full of shit at CVS. CVS is not made to check out 97 items at a checkout.
Right.
So look, I love that they have the self-checkouts where I can grab Tylenol or whatever and roll out.
Yeah.
But again, Walmart is not. There are places where most people have 97 items to check out.
Right.
And every time I scan a freaking banana that doesn't weigh right, I got to call somebody over to come hit in the key. I'm like, right.
Oh, look, I will wait in line for a cashier.
Well, I don't go to Walmart, but it's the same. I say I don't go to. I try not to. I definitely don't go to local Walmarts.
Well, I tell you this,
I don't go to Walmart. I don't go to the mega Walmart. Out of town because it's like it's the only place that I can guarantee that something's going to be there that I need. Like if I'm out of town on vacation or I'm out of town with work, and it's like I need whatever. I know Walmart has it. I don't know if the local mom and pop shop is going to have that.
Right. Like I'll go now. I do find like I won't go to our superstore.
You in the neighborhood?
I go to neighborhood Walmart, and they're better stocked. Like I find they're better run. But I'm probably about 50-50 with Walmart and Rouse's. Kind of depending on what I want. If I'm going make a big grocery list, most of the time it's Walmart because it's better priced. But if I'm going,
especially right now,
if I'm going to make a quick grocery run, like maybe just some lunches for the week, some milk and that kind of stuff, I'll go to Rouse's. I'm not going to Walmart. It just instead that I have a stance, most of it's pocketbook, or depending on what I'm trying to get.
Yeah,
I'm
stance.
But I do not like the self checkout.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. I hate it.
So Walmart is the largest employer in the world.
Well, isn't it like
largest? They're also the largest company with the highest percentage of employees in welfare.
That's crazy.
And not only that, so they're also subsidized. They're one of the largest companies that get subsidized by local government. So you realize like when Walmart comes into your neighborhood or comes into your town, you don't have one. And that's why like I don't say you're smarter, but you're kind of more stable small towns that aren't one industry specific, and they're like, look, we need something like this to come in. They subsidize the crap out of them. They're not paying all their sales tax. They're not paying property taxes. They're not paying all these things to allow them to come in. And it's like, they don't do that for, no small business.
What's the, I guess the per capita for the welfare thing? Because look, if I'm the largest employer, then of course I'm probably going to have more people on welfare if you just go number by number. You get what I'm saying? So like if you employ 100 employees and 50 out of your 100 are on welfare, but I employ 1,000 employees and 60 of mine are on welfare, my ratios are a lot better than yours, right? But my numbers are higher.
I guess a better example. If you broke down Walmart and you said, okay, because Sam's Superstores in itself could be a Fortune 500 company.
Oh, I'm sure,
So
right?
It could be.
Well, Walmart makes it's crazy, but so you have Walmart, and I think Tyson was a friend with Sam Walton, and so was the people that did the trucking thing, and all of those, because of how popular Walmart is.
Walmart.
Well, even before that, those companies individually were
grew together.
Were like billionaires just because of they were part of the distributing arm of Walmart. So it's huge.
Yeah, you ever been to Bentonville, Arkansas?
No, never been. I don't think I've ever been to Arkansas. Period.
Oh, Arkansas is beautiful, amazing state. But if you're ever in the area of however far I say that, but if you're within an hour or two drive of Bentonville, Arkansas, everybody needs to go. if you want to talk about it, see how it's a nothing town. Like that's where Walmart's headquartered, right? That's where their first store was. That's where he's from, Bentonville, Arkansas. It's a freaking metropolis now, and it's 5 streetlights, and like it's still a nothing town, but it's got ridiculous investment centers. It's got more banks than you can think about. Because not only is Walmart headquartered there, but Walmart has its own logistic company, right? Walmart has its own. Wood Forest Bank is a Walmart-owned company.
Wow.
Right? That's why they're in every Walmart. You never see a standalone Wood Forest Bank unless you're in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh, wow. but they say if Sam Walton was still alive, he'd be the richest man in the world, like, by far.
Well, yeah, I think so. He's got, I think, 6 or 7 Waltons are in the top 20. That'll all be his.
Right, yeah. Right.
Like, his wealth got distributed between his kids, and one of his sons died, so it went to his wife, and so yeah, I mean he'd be worth hundreds of billions.
But they say isn't it like, I don't know exactly how much it is, but that's like several cents per dollar of every dollar spent, and it's like a ridiculous amount. Last time I looked,
spent at Walmart.
It's spent at Walmart, right?
I wouldn't doubt it. And look, imagine.
But look up how much per dollar, like every dollar that's spent for every dollar spent in the U.S., how much is spent at Walmart?
And imagine if Amazon wouldn't have blown up.
Right.
Because Amazon took, excuse me, probably 20 or 30% of Walmart's business.
Well, but Amazon also caused most places to have online shopping,
Correct.
right? Like it freaking totally.
It made Walmart do it.
It's crazy how one idea like that just changes the world, basically.
His idea was to have a fucking online bookstore.
4%, so 4 cents of every dollar.
That's a lot, bro.
It's insane.
Does anything
15,000 per second.
Yeah. Now, how does that compare to Amazon? I wonder. I'd like to give a comparison.
That's not right.
No, can't be. That's online.
Oh, online.
Oh.
Still, think about that.
They have 50% of the market share online for money spent. How crazy is that?
50 cents on every dollar spent online is on Amazon.
Is at Amazon. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But let's burn the mom and pop stores, bro.
Holy shit. Look, I'm
Look, Amazon captures 41 cents of every dollar spent online. So it's I guess some of them are different depending on the time. I bet that 50 cents is probably like, because COVID.
10-year average.
Well, but even with the whole COVID thing, that really bumped up Amazon's numbers. Like, I was reading somewhere the other day. It said like every dollar spent in the history of man or in the history of the United States or whatever it was, like every dollar made. So you understand what I'm getting at? So every dollar made in the last 200 years in the United States, I want to say it's like 80% of it's been made in the last 10 years. Or something along those lines. Like, it's crazy. I don't know if it's exactly, don't quote me on the percentage, but it was an astronomical amount. Like,
I mean, just look at everybody. Well, I mean, that's the whole, economical view on inflation. Like, you have a lot of these economists that sit there and say, when people start really bitching about inflation, and it's like, inflation is almost a natural part of life.
Yeah, it will happen, but but when it climbs the way it's been climbing the last 2 years, it's freaking.
This is what so a lot of them believe that at this point. So when you have a country of wealth, like the United States,
well, especially when we can print our own money, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, but I mean, so it goes to a point like it's an omni-inflation, right? Like everything is going up. When thing is like oil driven, right? Then food and gas goes up. But like right now, it's not like literally. There's nothing that is not matching. Like we talked about on that in one podcast. It's like the 7 factors of inflation. Those are the things that typically go up. But in an omni-inflation, it's like they can almost you can pick something, and it's gone up at least to the point of to match inflation.
And this is one of the first times that I can remember coming from an an oil-based community, that the price of oil has gone so high, but our community hasn't benefited from it. Like the wages. No, the last time gas was really like our oil field workers were making money hand over fist.
They still are.
Like it was.
They are. The problem is we have less of them, right? Just like everything, innovation has decreased the number of operators you need in an oil field platform. So when they used to have 50 on an all deck, it's by 15 now, right? So, and that's your higher paying jobs. That's your big. But you guys think so? I mean, this has been a drastic climb in oil prices too. Just a year ago we were at $60 a barrel,
right?
And now we're at over 100. And for 2 years previously, when oil was literally free, like they were paying people to take oil. Just a handful of years ago, the price dropped to literally below zero, and they said oil will never give everybody. I mean, you had a few.
Well, nobody.
Everybody was like, "No, oil is never going to get back to $100."
Nobody thought that our president would drive the price of oil up.
Our president, right? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a stock portfolio.
They all got to be invested in green energy, bro. Because
then why would he drive the price of oil up?
Because he's trying to shut it down, man.
That's the last thing you want to do is make it more profitable. That's the thing that irritates me. You have a lot of these Democratic senators, and they're going on these tangents.
But if you make it too expensive, because that's part of the problem with the green.
Going to make it too expensive.
But that's part of the problem with the green energy that we have.
That's
now.
Because
the stuff's
solar,
too expensive.
wind, everything's
right.
still so much more expensive.
So if you drive the price of oil to a point where it's compatible or comparable to the price of green energy, then those options become more
enticing.
Enticing. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah. I mean, when you say on your campaign platform that you're going after oil, and you pass X amount of bills your first week in frickin' office directed at oil. Like you made a promise and you delivered on it, and this is the byproduct of where we're at. You can't argue he didn't drive the price of oil.
Oh no! I'm not. I'm not. What I'm getting at is that's the stupidest thing in the world to do. Like, I understand like the concept, but the reality is that you're putting hundreds of billions of dollars in their pocket. What do you think they're going to do with that money?
But he's also like he's hurting U.S. oil.
Yeah, absolutely.
While enriching foreign oil.
I agree 100%.
So
Exxon, Chevron, Shell, they don't give a fuck where the oil comes from. They're everywhere.
He don't give a shit either, as long as it's not coming from the U.S.
Well, correct.
I'm not pointing at Brennan. I'm pointing at the computer. The proverbial machine connected to the
I agree with you, but he's not going to be here long enough to see any of this come to fruition. So that's
about him. Personally, it's about his platform.
The platform is not gonna. It's not going to. It's if I continue to push to give me all the money, and I'm hurting everybody else. What do you think these oil companies are going to do with this money?
But he's not giving it to our oil companies.
Yes, he is.
He's not, man.
How is he not?
That shit's going overseas, bro.
Where overseas?
Well,
this is my. You sit here and talk about when you talk about
Google
something.
Where's who's profiting the most off of all the hiking gas prices?
Who do you think is? All the major oil companies.
We'll see.
I mean, there's nothing to debate. It's not a like. You think Chevron is just in the United States? No. None of them are.
I know they're not.
Right? I'm not saying that money's not going to foreign entities.
Right.
Right? But to the same percentage that it's going everywhere else.
But like BP and all them, that's not even U.S. companies.
None of them are. None of them are. Standard Oil was the original oil company that all of the top 5 major oil companies that were broken up into. Right? Almost none of them have consistent U.S. bases or only U.S. headquarters.
But when two 2.5 years ago, whatever, before the whole pandemic, all that other crap, we were energy independent, and the prices of gas was a whole lot lower. The price of oil was a whole lot lower, But we were able to, the worker here, like I didn't hear much bitching from them. Like,
you don't hear much bitching from them right now.
Yeah, you do.
From who?
All my friends in the oil field are bitching.
About what?
About the freaking the lack of work, about the with and this goes past the oil, but with the cost of everything, they're making cutbacks because of supply chain issues. Because like it's a whole. Again,
but that's completely different.
I know, and I said that.
That's where I was going with it, because that's the problem.
That goes past the oil, but
because they are cutting back and they are doing a lot of those things, but it has nothing to do with the price of oil. What I'm saying at
I don't know. It seems like it has a lot to do with the price of oil to me.
What has a? I'm talking
about these. So you think these oil companies are making gazillions of dollars and they going?
They are.
Well, we don't need employees, bro.
They don't. What's the point of needing employees when you can't get the supplies for the employees to work?
If that's the case, and that would make them more money, then they would get their own supply chains.
It doesn't work that way.
Why not?
Because to create a supply chain takes decades.
What does it take to
create a logistic company?
I'm not talking about a logistic company, man. But you're not going. What do they need? Like
everything. So if they need a part machined, like that's why they don't.
But that's what I'm telling you. If an oil company has a high demand for machined parts, there are companies that do machine
work.
In
this shit for the short run.
What I'm telling you is, so there's a difference in an oil company that's making all that money, needing some trucks to deliver some parts.
It's not just that.
And a food company,
yeah, there's no doubt.
Like it just.
What I'm saying is that to go back to the thing that his policy was to drive up the price of oil, right? To make it so expensive.
I don't know if that's.
No, that's just what you're saying. All I'm doing is recapping.
I don't know if that's his exact goal, but that's the byproduct of it, right?
I agree with that. And what I'm saying is that that's the dumbest thing that he could do for the long-term objective of what he's trying to do.
Well, I'm not saying the man's genius. I'm just talking about like right now, it's hurting us, bro. Like,
I agree. There's no doubt his policies are hurting every American.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that in their platform is fucking ridiculous because they're going on these talking points of, well, look at these oil companies making all this money. Well, oil companies don't set the price of oil.
No, they don't. Right.
Right? So they are benefiting from. You can look at the first quarter, BP and Exxon's first quarter reports are like astounding. It's some of the best. The problem is that their stocks are still going to go to shit, right? Because of the recession and because of it's not affecting their cash flow, right? So they don't give a fuck if their stock goes to zero when they're sitting on $700 million in the bank in a quarter.
But
right? They'll do stock buy. That's not how business works.
And see that's just when you start talking about the stock market and all this stuff, I'm not as educated on that, so I'm not gonna make a comment. But I would, other than ask a question, right? So and again, excuse my ignorance on the stock market. So that's why I'm asking. I know this is your field.
Not really, but
yeah, fine. Like understanding those financial patterns and that kind of stuff. So I'm not questioning that. I'm legitimately asking a question. It's my understanding, and educate me if I'm wrong. That's why I'm asking. That if your business is making that much cash and that kind of stuff, that you would think your stocks will go up.
No.
So why? That's what I'm asking. Why is that?
Because of volatility, right? Because every stock purchase, especially oil, is all bought in futures, right? And then nowadays with predictive selling and shorting stocks and all of this shit, you have people that try to get positions. Well, and this is the thing that Robinhood investors and all like with the AMC. Like, look, if you were in early and you what? If you're not, you will get burned because these people have money to lose.
Right, they can hold it a lot longer, right?
Not only can they hold it a lot longer, they can do exactly what you're doing, but by themselves, and you're trying to do it in droves of people. Right? So that's the thing. It's the same thing with like Warren Buffett, Apple, when all these, like Tesla, he doesn't care that his stocks drop to nothing, right? They have the cash to make the damn company go private. They don't care. They want to do it. The board doesn't want it to happen because if it goes private, then you're not, nobody's got jobs as far as on the board's concerned, and it's going to be, it's not, you don't have as much cash flow. But if my sales, like, I'll give you a prime example, like Harley Davidson. I don't know if you remember, if you pay attention to this, but like, so Harley Davidson was like just a normal, standard, good motorcycle place, right? And then they started mass producing like motorcycles. Got kind of like Jeep happened all of a sudden. Motorcycles got real popular. You started seeing these big Harley Davidson dealerships pop up in all these towns, right? Well, you know what happened directly after that? Their stock went to shit. And everybody's like, Harley's doing great. Yep, Harley's sales were doing good, right? But their profit per and their cash flow went to nothing because they started selling all these things they went to a volume game. Right?
I get that if your profit margins go down, your
profit
stocks
margins
go down.
didn't go down. Profit margins went up. It's cash flow because they were spending money.
So they were spending more than they were making. Is that what
like. So
I'm
there's
trying
a
to
huge
understand
difference
this.
between like revenue and
Brennan,
profit.
you getting this?
Right?
Not really.
Yeah,
So
maybe
I'm not explaining it good enough. So you got to understand the difference between like revenue and profit, right? So like Tesla, for example, revenue is like ridiculous. They make billions and billions and billions of dollars.
No, I get
they
that.
lose money.
They lose money.
They lose money.
Because they're overstretched. Is that what, like, spending more money than they're making? Because
No,
I understand what profit
correct, but
margins
they're
are.
spending it back into the company.
I mean, I get that, but you can only do that for so long.
You can do that forever. I mean, Tesla did it. Amazon did it for the first 15 years that they were around, right? Like literally would borrow money just to put it right back into R&D, new products.
I mean, I get
not
that.
spending money on.
But at some point, like that ballooning is going to pop, right? Like,
Not necessarily.
it doesn't always, but I can understand why I wouldn't want to invest in a company that has their cash flow stretched like that.
And you would have never invested in Facebook, Amazon.
I get
all
it.
those, and that's why when you see these people that go, if you look at all of these, their first 10 years of existence, if you don't understand the long game, and that's what I'm getting at with the same thing what Biden's doing right now, and all, like these all companies are sitting back going, okay, they're waiting. It's a chess game. And as soon as your dumbass exposes, and that's what you're doing, you're making all these moves, they see what's happening. They're saying, okay, sit back, and we're just going to keep taking this money because interest rates are going high, because all these things, money's becoming more expensive. So that drives up the cost of everything. Fucking supply chain's trash, so that drives up the price of everything, right? So they're sitting back going, okay, but when it's time to make a move, when everything goes into shit, who do you think has all the money to buy everything? Oil companies, right? So oil companies are one of the number one users of solar power.
Okay, but my question is this, because I'm following you so far. The same logic that you're using on why I wouldn't want to, if you wouldn't invest in Amazon and Facebook and this and that, why wouldn't I want to invest in an oil company?
You would.
But their stock is tanking.
Shit. And it's going to shit for the next 6 or 8 months.
But why? So I get it. That's the part that confuses me.
Rebounds,
like, to me, it sounds like I should be investing in. And we're not giving, for the record, we're not giving
financial advice.
We're just having a conversation.
Warren Buffett just put like $700 million in a fucking oil company.
And see that's the kind of stuff like I need to know, because that dude knows way more about
right?
stocks than
he
I
is
do.
about green energy. And he is about making this. He is
But at the end of the day, he's also about making money.
He's about yes, but he's about, more importantly, returning value to his shareholders. Right? Warren Buffett said it a long time ago. I stopped worrying about making money a long time ago.
He's still worried about making money.
He's not.
Come on, man.
He's not.
That dude's full of shit.
Definitely don't believe he's full of shit. I don't think you're gonna find a more realistic, down to earth, like just this is what it is.
I mean, I get all that, but like,
he's worried about returning value to his shareholders.
And what value is that? Money?
Not
he's worried about
necessarily.
money.
It's long term money. It's value, right? And that's what I'm saying. If he's going out and he's starting to dump money into things right now, it's like that's because I'm gonna bet you in
Oh,
you know,
look, yeah, no doubt. The man, freaking, yeah. If he's investing in oil, then it's probably a if you can afford it and you can take that risk, that would be where I would bet. And I'm saying bet for a reason. Like it's
I mean, all of that, especially
right.
the next 2 years.
Every investment's a risk.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the amount of money that they're stockpiling right now.
What I'm getting at is if these people are buying. And this is the part about the stock stuff that confuses me, right? So if these people are buying the stocks, then I would think like, and maybe it's because I'm thinking supply and demand mindset, but I'm thinking that if I'm buying these stocks or everybody's buying these stocks with the expectations that the oil is gonna blow up and they're gonna get a better return on that would draw or drive the prices of the stocks up because everybody's buying it. You know what I mean?
It can.
Like I wouldn't think that if everybody's buying something, that it would tank.
But everybody's not buying oil right now, right? So that's the thing. It's expensive right now. So you do have less oil going out.
Right.
So if I was selling 100 million barrels a day at $60 a barrel, but now I'm only selling 70 million barrels a day at $105 a barrel. Stock investors look at this like your value is going down, your volume is going down. So therefore, in the long run, that's
if
a problem.
prices drop and you're still putting the same volume out.
Correct, but that's not how the oil field. That's
No,
not how
absolutely.
The oil
Like I'm not
works.
even an oil person or a stock person. I can
because-
understand that shit
because they have to. Every investment's on speculation.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Right. So because again, they're trying to project everything, right? Like majority of investments isn't day trading.
No, yeah, I understand that.
So, when the price of stock goes up and down, I mean these stocks are being traded in tens of millions of shares per transaction. So when you see the ticker in it,
right.
It's the volume. Look at the volume of a stock that's being traded in a day. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's
Especially when you're talking about the actual the ones that are like kind of volatile at the moment, and so you got a lot of people that just lost their ass in crypto. Like
yeah, like